welcome to Glowing Hour. Today we have our special guest, Anna. If you did not listen to the main segment,
you're in for it.
Yeah. Missing a lot of tea, and you will find out exactly who Anna is. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in Glowing Hour. But first, we are having a margarita with a hibiscus rim. Because why not? Okay. Nice little margarita moment.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
We've been talking off camera because we cannot stop. Some tea has been spilled, but where should we start? Like, let's start at the beginning. How did you meet him?
Yeah.
Let's go back to just like the beginning of this relationship before the shit hit the fan.
Sure. Hinge.
Nice.
And I have nothing against dating apps.
Right.
Like, this isn't me being like, oh, you get on Hinge and like you're gonna have the worst relationship ever.
Yeah.
No. I was on Hinge for maybe like 2 months. I wasn't really into it. I'd been in a long-term relationship before for like 2 years, and it had ended on a good note. Like, we both realized that we were going in different directions, and we were both like happy to just do our own thing. So that ended nicely. And then I felt like a couple months later that I was ready to meet other people. Mm-hmm. And I decided to go on Hinge because some of my friends had been on there.
Yeah.
Go on Hinge for like a month. Just bad dates. Kind of like didn't really like it. Mm-hmm. I went on vacation with my family and I didn't really look at it at all. The day that I was coming home, I decided to check and see what was going on Hinge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saw him, matched with him, came home, and he was like, oh, let's go on a date. We went on a date.
What was this date? I'm so curious.
Yeah, what was the date? Well,
oh Lord.
Well, it was fine, but first of all, I hate when people don't want to like plan anything and they put it on you. Like, come on.
Stop it right now.
He was like, well, what type of food do you like? Like, I don't want to plan anything and you don't like it. And I was like, so you're pretty much making me plan it.
Decide. Yeah.
Fine, whatever. So I said, oh, I really like Mediterranean food. So we went to this spot that's near my house and it was good. I've been there like many times. It was fine. We got drinks afterwards. It was great. Finished the date. He was like, oh, can I get your number? Exchanged numbers, and I went home. Then we went on like another date after that. I think we went bowling or something like that. I can't remember. Okay. But it was fine. Like the first couple dates were fine.
No red flags. Just
no,
hanging
like
out.
Because I didn't really have the intention of like jumping into a relationship. I just wanted to like see how things went.
Yeah. And
he also wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for something like super long term. Like this needs to be serious. It was just like pretty casual. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like first few dates were really good. And it was a really fun like summer of just hanging out and doing things. I was like seeing other people at the same time.
Yeah.
And no idea if he was.
Probably,
but he continued to say, oh, like, I don't even use the dating app. Like, I'm like, whatever. And then, like, eventually he got rid of the dating app. And later on, he was like, well, we could be more serious. Like, let's just see each other. Then we decided to only see each other. Eventually was like, okay, we should date. And then we got together.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like the beginning was like normal, or was he kind of like a love bomber?
Love that, because I wrote down something I wanted to talk about. Love bombing. We need to get into love bombing.
Okay, so that was prevalent.
We need to get into love bombing because I didn't even really know about that. Mm-hmm. I had heard about it online. Mm-hmm. None of my friends really talked about it. I didn't really know what it was. And I'd never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
So then in this relationship, for sure was being love bombed.
Okay.
Taking me out.
So what are the signs?
Paying for everything, never expecting me to pay for anything, driving me here, there, everywhere, never expecting me to do anything, constantly messaging me, getting to know me in every single possible way. Like I had opened up about my grief, like my family history, and he was so there for me and like wanted to be so supportive and opened up about his past and very quickly wanted to be like connected with me.
Yeah.
Very quickly wanted to be like a part of my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it because, like, obviously I'm enjoying, like, going out, and he's getting me flowers, and he's making me feel good, and he's making me, like, little baskets and, like, making me feel good about everything.
Yeah.
6 months later, it all disappears.
Yeah.
And then you really see who that person is. Obviously, I didn't get that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's just nice. Oh, he just, like, really appreciates me.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. But no, really, it was just, like, to reel me in.
Yeah. To make you feel bonded to him that you can't leave. And that's exactly what he wants. Like, you need to feel so attached to me that no matter what I do, you're going to stay.
Yep.
That is just, like,
it's diabolical.
Does he know? Like, do you think he knows in his head, this is what I'm doing? Like, I'm going to love bomb her.
The thing is, we talked about him being a narcissist, right?
A little,
like,
yeah.
I think there might be another layer there.
Okay.
Like,
We don't need to diagnose him, but sure.
No, but like,
yeah.
if there is something else there, I don't know that
he's, like, aware.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
There's no level of awareness.
But I don't think that's it. I think he genuinely knows what he's doing, in my opinion. I don't know how you do it so many times.
Yeah, repeating the pattern.
And not see, like, the similarities. It's just...
It is insane, and I don't want this to feel, like, invalidating either to your experience that, like, he did the same things to me, because obviously they're still very different. We're very different people, and, like,
yeah, absolutely.
he was also probably different to you in a lot of ways, but it is just, like, disheartening that he did the same thing, similar things to you, and, like, that relationship is just the past now. You don't got to worry about his trauma anymore, and that is, like, the best part of leaving that. And now you get to actually, like, be around your support system.
Yep.
In the last episode, you talked a little bit about how your family felt about him. Did he get to meet I'm assuming he met your friends and stuff. What did they think about him, like, in the beginning and during? We know about after, but, like, through it all.
My girlfriends did not like him in the beginning because he did something that they were really disappointed in. I was with my friends, and this was, like, in the very beginning, like, freshly dating.
Like, together officially. Okay.
And we were supposed to hang out, and then I said, oh, well, we don't really have any official plans, and my girlfriends just called, and they said, let's all go to this brewery that we normally go to. So do you want to come join? Like, I think it would be fun. He was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was like, okay.
Because they'll find you out.
So, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to cancel on them and have no real plans with you? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I remember he was like, oh, well, there's a fight on TV.
Oh, my God, dude, the fights. I went to every single motherfucking fight during those 2 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't in this relationship, but I saw a lot.
I mean, I did like going and hanging out with his friends. Were cool, and the fights were fun. But it was just, there was no balance on his end of, like, in that moment, he should have said, period, let's go hang out with your friends.
Should have.
Yep.
And,
Did he ever watch shit on his phone, like, while you guys were out together?
Like sports, like, to make sure he was keeping tabs on the game.
Every single time. Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. And I would say, do you really have to look at that while we're out? Do you really have to do that? I feel like
that shit's wild.
And he would go, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. Like, why can't I watch this on my phone? This is important to me. Like, and it's crazy. Like, that's not a unique experience. The amount of videos I've seen online of girls going out,
absolutely,
and they all share the same experience, and they're sitting there feeling alone on a date with their boyfriend because they're too obsessed with their phone and they need to watch the game.
And I think that's what justifies it for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like,
it's like, it's just a guy thing to do. Yeah.
We're watching the game.
It's really hard for me to, like, comprehend.
I know. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's never been.
Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so other freaking tea during the relationship. What were we just talking about? I feel like we were literally just spilling
so much.
The episode tea. I am interested. So when you were listening to the episodes of us,
yeah,
was it like the story of me explaining that he cheated on me?
So
different ones.
I looked at the episodes and I was like, I want to know like what that story really is, because obviously he didn't tell me anything. Like I know it's just like BS, and like all I know is what his sister had said. Oh, there's something that happened. And so I looked at the videos and I was like, oh, this one is like about cheating and like this one is about something else. So I watched mostly like the cheating and relationship ones.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, the one where you explain like what happened, like my stomach dropped. Like the seeing the stuff on the phone and then him getting drunk and going and doing all that stuff and then like lying and trying to come up with everything. It was like, oh my God, that was like almost 3 years ago and it's replaying itself in my life.
Yeah. It's just like there's only so much that can be said about someone not willing to move forward.
Yeah.
And like you seeing the text messages with like sexting or whatever, and then when I saw his Snapchats of like nudes or whatever, and he was like, what are you looking at? What do you mean? That's my friend. I was like,
my friend
don't
who's
send
naked?
titties together.
Friend?
Like, I don't,
What do you
your friend got
mean?
naked?
like, oh yeah, let me talk about my friend that sends me nude photos as well then. Like, what?
That's absurd. Yeah.
Okay. So moving forward for this, we are moving on to talk about you a little bit. Whatever you want to share. You don't have to like, overshare. I know you're private, at least on Instagram. And like, are you very, like, what made you actually want to come on the podcast? I'm curious.
Yeah,
sure.
Because you are a very private
Absolutely.
person, it seems.
Yeah. I don't like to share too much on social media, mostly because I don't want to deal with like editing photos and then having to like come up with captions. And I like know that it's serious work for people. Like I have friends that take it seriously and like that's fine. And I just treat it as like casual. If I want to post something for my, however many followers, I'll just throw like a little something together. Like if I go to an event, like go to Coachella, go to a festival, I'll post some pictures. But I'm not like on my story posting stuff all the time, like creating like, a brand for myself. Like that's not what I do. But when everything happened and then I started watching like the podcast to kind of like help me figure out like what had happened to me and like if it was similar and like, how you were able to like move forward and what helped you best, because it's literally an identical situation. It's not even like me just looking up how to move on from cheating. Like it's an identical situation. So I watched a lot of that and all of it was great to hear because, you're able to move on. You're able to have people that support you. You found hobbies, interests, and that's what I wanted to hear from somebody in the same situation. But as well as like just the honesty that you have online, you're not sugarcoating the fact that it was terrible and it sucks and there's, these lasting effects. I needed to hear that as well. And once I had done that, I talked to my brother and we like spent the weekend together and I was like, oh, this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, he also did it to the last girlfriend. And I said, even his sister had brought that stuff up. And my brother said, well, does she like have a podcast? What does she do? And I said, yeah, she does. And she's talked about it. And he was like, you should tell her. And I was like, you think so? And he was like, yeah. And you should like put something on social media about it. Like a
PSA?
Like,
no, because I think
he literally said, get a picture, get something, get on TikTok,
make a Canva,
whatever, and say like PSA, this person like cannot be trusted. This person is not a good partner, not emotionally available. Please do not fall into this trap. And I was like, oh, like, I don't really know how to do all that. Like, I don't use TikTok like that. And he goes, well, like, just send it to her and, like, see what she says. And so I did, like, that weekend, I, like, typed out a message and I was like, what should I say? Like, I don't want to sound weird. But, like, this is, like, a funny situation.
Yeah. And you knew I had moved on. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I wasn't,
like, it wasn't like, oh, yeah.
soul crushing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I, like, wrote it all out and he was like, oh, that's, like, very respectful. Like, you should send it. And so then I waited a little bit and then I sent it. And, you know, obviously you're really receptive. You're like, whoa, like, tell me what happened. I was shaking.
I had just finished my coffee and I was like,
yeah, the group chat went crazy.
The group chat, you guys I love that.
I don't believe what's going on.
I love that. That is so funny. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I thought it would be good to, like, talk to somebody and just share the story and get their perspective and, like, see how similar it was. And obviously after talking about this, it's so similar. It's just validates the fact that it's a pattern for him. It just keeps repeating itself.
Yeah. And we know he's gonna be listening, so it's like the fact that we can say this over and over, like, you need fucking help, and he's still not gonna grasp that. And I just don't know what to do with that information. Like, why just, I don't know. I haven't blocked on everything, but yet he still looks at, like, podcast things. I mean, I guess at this point I could block him. I can't block him from, like, the podcast, but just, like, dude, stop focusing on the past, even though you're over it and you're totally chill. Let's move forward. And it did make me laugh when you said that he says that I talk about it and it's sad that I talk about it all the time or whatever.
It's called processing.
It's literally processing. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk about this for as long as I want.
Right. Like, you did this to me.
You did this to me. And there's lasting effects. I remember telling him, like, do you understand that now I look at men differently?
Right.
Do you see that? Do you see that you did something so despicable to me that I don't know how to trust the same way? Do you get that? That's so fucked up of you.
Yeah. I know I'm sorry.
Like, it's like, I need help.
Right.
We know.
Why couldn't you have figured that out before and not dragged me into that?
100%.
Thank you for being, like, extremely vulnerable and, like, talking about it thoroughly and being so gracious and open.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. And, like, cheating really, like you said, changes, like, fucking brain chemistry, basically. Like, it really creates trauma and issues. And, I mean, I'm not saying that's what you're going to deal with, but it just definitely makes things different moving forward.
Yeah. Different things to focus on the next time you're in a relationship. And hopefully the next one is very understanding and not fake understanding like he was. And, you know, there's time for that, though.
I will say, like, stepping back from the male population at this point, I do, like, get scared, like, for you guys who are still dating men, because I feel like they're getting... I don't want to say smarter because they're not smart, but, like, I do think that they're getting more resourceful. Yeah, and they know the lingo, they know the things of the therapy talk and whatever. And so it's really hard to, like, differentiate what's real and what's not. So I'm really sorry, but I do think I still think there's great men out there, and I hope
100%.
I hope you guys have the next fucking good one, because this is a rough.
Do you feel like you're moving forward single for a like long time? Maybe, like, trying out just some alone time?
Definitely want to be single for a while, but I don't have, like, a time frame.
Just whatever feels right.
Whatever feels right for me.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really like to focus on for my journey is that I shouldn't close all these doors because somebody hurt me. I showed up in their relationship. I am kind. I'm empathetic. I'm loving. Somebody else in my life deserves that. I don't need to shut that down because somebody decided to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
you know, I would put that love into my friends, my family, myself, and eventually a new partner. But I'm not going to be upset and sad and never show love again and feel hurt forever because I was showing love to somebody for over 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to show love to everyone in my life for as long as I can.
Yeah.
That's a really mature perspective.
Absolutely.
I have got to say. I don't know that I was even at that point. I don't think I was mad or like, I think I was sad.
You were
And
deeply hurt.
I
Yeah.
was deeply hurt, and I honestly shut out. I did close that door for 6 months probably. I was like, I just don't want to talk to men.
Yeah.
Like, men are frustrating to me
Yeah.
right now. So that was my experience, but definitely now I'm on that end of things of like, we're moving forward.
Yeah.
And whatever happens is what is meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just letting everything happen as it should. You know, if I go out with my friends and somebody wants to talk to me and I'm interested in them, I'm not going to look them in the face and go, I can't talk to you because I just got cheated on.
Yeah.
No.
Some people think like, oh, what if they do me dirty again? Like, I'm too scared. I just want to let things happen. Like, if somebody's interested in me and they show that and I like them back, then, you know, maybe I'll pursue that for as long as I want to. But I think what's important for me is like knowing the signs now.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I want to pursue somebody and they start showing me those signs that I neglected before, it's so much easier for me to say, oh, well, you know, that didn't work out for me last time and I'm going to protect my heart and my peace and I'm just going to, you know, shut that down. Thank you, next.
Yeah.
Thank you for the rubric.
Not the rubric. Yeah, I will say,
God.
like,
Yeah.
seeing the signs and like, why did we not know this as young women? Like, it's because no one was talking about it. We were forced to be embarrassed that this happened to us, so no one else knew what to look for, and thus just creating the cycle.
Yeah.
But talking about it is like, I think a lot of people look at it as like, oh, it's embarrassing, you shouldn't talk about that, like, get over it, you're just a disgruntled woman or whatever. But like you said, like, you found this podcast and it helped you realize that you're not alone and like,
Yeah.
you will move forward and grow, and it's literally not about the person who hurt you. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why we talk about shit
Yeah.
on this freaking podcast, and I'm glad you found it. Really glad.
Yeah, it's really eye-opening to see people be vulnerable on the internet because sometimes there are podcasts where people talk about things, but it's very vague and they don't want to talk about certain things. And maybe it's because they're embarrassed. Maybe it's because they're not willing to. But when people really open up and talk about things, that's when you get people who relate to you. And they see like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh my gosh, I have the same experience.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe you can learn something from that experience. Maybe they have really good advice and I can take a piece of that advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we were supposed to talk about you like
moving on.
25 minutes ago.
Totally fine.
Well, now that you're like out of the situation and you're focusing on yourself and your friends and your family, what are some things that like you're rediscovering, like hobbies or interests? Like, what are you work? Like, what do you do?
What are you passionate about?
Love that because I just signed up for, or like 2 weeks ago, I guess, ClassPass.
Oh, nice.
Fun.
I used to be a dancer for a very long time, pretty much my entire life. And then when I stopped doing dance, like in a more competitive way, I switched into yoga because when you're like flexible from dance, you kind of want to do something that's similar to that. And yoga is really good for like strength, you know, flexibility.
Yeah.
And I did it in college for a little bit. Then stopped and I was like doing gym full time, like lifting weights, and I liked that. But now that I have a lot of free time, I was like, I want to do like classes. I want to do something different. So I have ClassPass now, and I've been doing yoga and Pilates 3 times a week.
Oh,
Amazing.
my.
So
Okay.
I love it. It's so fun. I do some yoga classes that are like sculpting. You use weights. It's more cardio intensive. And then I do like one a week, which is like there's a place by my house that does soul healing yoga. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
It is very slow, intentional yoga. So
I love this.
it's not going to be like a bunch of poses that you hold for a long time and it's really tiring and like it hurts. It's going to be mostly like stretching and breathing. It's all about like breathing techniques, and you set an intention in the beginning of class.
Lovely.
And you try to take your mind off things, and like they always have really good music playing, like that helps you like relax, and it decompresses your muscles too, which is great because if you have a lot of stress, a lot of the poses like help with your traps and like your back, everything where you hold a lot of stress. And that class has been so good. So usually like in the evenings I'll do it, and it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours. And they do like at the very end, if you listeners do yoga, Shavasana, final pose, you just lay there with like your arms open, your heart open, and the girl that I go to does like essential oils and turns the lights off.
Obsessed.
The heck? Is this part of the class pass? Like,
Yeah.
Well, class pass is like,
it's like different. It's individual.
you get like
businesses, right?
basically like virtual coins to spend on
Exactly,
classes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Virtual coins.
And like it's so at the very end, like it's all dark, and you just like sit there and you like try and get rid of all like the negative thoughts. And I'm telling you, at the end of the class, you feel different. You feel new. You're so happy, and you just walk away and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to come back next week.
Wow.
Wow.
I need to sign up. We live close, but I promise I won't come to a class that you're in. So we can keep the, you know.
Oh, no, there's they offered at different studios. Some studios are a lot more focused on like training and stretching and things like that, but certain studios at different times will do like the slow, intentional, like breathing focused yoga.
Yeah.
You just have to like look at the schedule, but usually that's offered at almost every studio I've ever been to.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So
So
dancing's
fun.
not on the table. Not even for fun.
What kind of dance did you do?
Yeah.
Like everything. So when I
Everything?
started, I was like 4. Ballet, you know, typical for anyone who does dance, you kind of have to start with that. So it was ballet, tap for a really long time. Then I shifted to gymnastics
Wow.
to do like flexibility, like training like that. Then went back into dance like full time when I was like in middle school. I was doing it for the school, and then I was also getting like one-on-one classes outside as well. And then when I was in high school, I was on dance team, dance captain.
Oh, period.
Eat 'em up.
And so I focused on that, and I did have like training outside as well. And then you have to make a decision when you graduate. Do I want to do a collegiate dance career
Yeah.
and then move to a studio, or am I just going to be done with it? And for me, it was like way too competitive when I was finishing. Like the chances of getting a spot at like a good place is just like so slim.
Okay.
And I decided like, no, it's fine. Like I'll still be active and I'll still have like a healthy lifestyle, but I'll just like do other things. So I finished, and you know, I had all the great experiences and I loved doing dance, but I kind of closed that chapter.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would go back because it's really difficult to find something that's at my level. A lot of it was like very introductory levels for adults.
Yeah.
And I would be more like advanced than that. And then when there are advanced classes, there's an age limit. Yeah. It's usually like up to like 18 or like 19 because everyone in the class is
He's
like
trying to be
exactly.
professionally-
So like there's not a lot of advanced classes for adults unless you're going to go to, I'm sure you've seen those videos.
Like they dance and then they do the videos.
like,
No.
what is it
That's
called?
all I can think.
Like there's a dance complex called like Millennium Dance or Millennium Dance, something like that. And that's like where have professional choreographers come in and they teach like choreo, and you can come, you could do the choreo, whatever, but they're not like training you. You're not going like across the floor and like doing stuff. It's just like
learn to dance.
You're going to do a contemporary dance, you're going to do a hip hop dance, and you're just going to be there for the hour, and you know, they film their class and then that's it.
And then it's it.
And I think like it's pretty expensive to go there, and I don't really want to just learn like a combo for like $50 and then like leave.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch a YouTube video.
When I can watch like yeah, exactly. So I want like more of like a one-on-one training or something that's more like in depth with the teacher. So that's why I focused on like Pilates and yoga.
That's awesome. I did a little bit of dance in high school, and I not recently, I guess like a year ago, I tried to go back into like ballet, and it was extremely difficult for me because it's been like years since I like did anything. I did one hip hop class, and like not my favorite. I feel like it was so it's like where all of the like kind of like off-season dancers go.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that was really fun. So like if you're looking for ballet, you should go to that one, and I can give you the information. But it's cool. It's very much more like training focused. And yeah, the instructor's like incredible. He's like so meticulous and very kind, and like wants to just really push you forward.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah.
When I think about dance, did you watch the Dallas Cowboys?
I didn't.
You like it.
Because I have a thing with like pom.
Okay.
It's disappointing to me because this is my hot take.
Go for it.
Pom and cheer dance is so designed for male attention.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's not about technique half the time. It's not about talent. It's about, can you wear short shorts,
The gays.
with a push-up bra and kick your legs up and smile for the people in the stands.
Look sexy while you're doing it.
I agree. I think that this show definitely moves that way.
They tried to address.
They try to address these things. However, in that world itself, they're getting very specific about getting really trained dancers to be on the team.
That's better,
which is amazing. But then you see them doing the things you're talking
exactly. They're just like shaking their butt, kicking their legs, like, girl, you know how to do all of Sacones. Like, why aren't we seeing that? Well, it's because they're on the grass. I get it. They don't have the same ability as like a dancer on a stage.
Yep.
But
still, like,
it's the choreography is so basic and it's not showcasing their talent.
Yeah.
And I find that really disappointing when these people have been training for their years,
their lives.
And I also know that this show touches on like body image, and that's a huge problem that I experienced in dance. I was always like a smaller, like skinnier person just based on like my genetics and like the way that my family looks. But if my stomach looked a certain way, like my teachers would say like, suck it in, that doesn't look good, like you need to look a certain way. I remember having to fit into a small all the time. There was like a time in high school where I gained weight and I needed a medium, and they wouldn't give me a medium, and I had to like fit into a small, and it was tight. I mean, you'll talk to anyone really in dance and they'll tell you pretty much the same thing. It really hasn't changed over the last like 50 years, but
I don't think it will.
It's really difficult because you're staring at yourself in the mirror the entire dance class, the entire time you're being trained. You're in, at least when I was in dance, like in a sports bra and shorts. Yeah. And you're constantly looking at yourself. How do your legs look when you're kicking? How does your stomach look when you're jumping? How do your arms look when you're turning? And, you know, if any part of your body's like jiggling or moving, like that's a problem.
Yeah.
And so it took a lot for me to like look in the mirror after high school and be like, my body's fine and like I'm healthy and like it doesn't matter what size clothes that I'm fitting in.
Yeah.
After like always knowing I had to know my size, my measurements, everything for dance. I mean, the amount of costumes I have was insane. But it's hard. You're like, oh, and other girls on the team have like a 6-pack and like I should look like that, and
it's wild.
Oh, the societal expectations from like such a young age too is insane.
Yeah, I agree with you and all that. I think the show did, just to like go back.
Bring back
I
to
think the show, because it did touch on a lot of touchier subjects, and I feel like the dance world can be kind of like a dark place for a lot of people, and just like bringing that to life.
I mean,
really
Black Swan, that movie was oof. Like biggest fears actualized, and I'm not even a dancer. So
That's the big one right now.
yeah.
One of my girlfriends recently moved to Santa Monica.
Ooh, fun. I love
And so I'm going to spend a lot of time over there. She has her own place. I'm so excited because she really wanted to move out for such a long time. And she's like, oh, I'm finally going to do it. And she picked Santa Monica. Love that.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited to spend time with her and like be there for her with her new change and having like all this independence. I'm so excited. Oh, yeah. Like she's been loving it out there. And yeah, she has all these things for us to do. She's like, we're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to go to this bar.
So
we're gonna
cute.
go to this. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, just like spending time with my family more, my brother, and yeah, like my grandparents. I love spending time with them. Love them.
So sweet.
Biggest support ever. And yeah, they're always there for me. They love like cooking dinner for me. Like whenever I want to come over, I'm always over there. It's mostly just like family time, and then like trying to focus on like health and wellness. So doing my exercise and everything, getting my mind right.
Yeah. It's exactly everything you should be doing. Like focusing on you, having a good time, and being with your girlies, family. That is the ideal, honestly. So I'm really happy for you. Yeah. And hopefully people at home, if you're listening, like are also inspired by the fact that you can see we can get through it and it's okay. You're not alone.
I don't know. I've recently been getting into like, I used to do this in like right before COVID. I'm so into thrifting. I cannot stop. I cannot stop.
Love.
If I find a new thrift store, I'm going. Like,
do you go to the Savers? I don't know where you live.
Okay.
But like the Savers on La Mirada, Imperial in La Mirada?
Yes, but there's also one further away near, God, what is that, like Yorba Linda area? Somewhere like that. Love that one. So I go both of those. There's one that's closer to my house, and it's really tiny. And it's only open like 3 days a week or something, which is annoying.
Like a curated spot, or is it more like
a little hole in the wall?
It's kind of like, it's not really like hole in the wall, but it's because it's run by volunteers.
Oh.
That it's like, they don't, like, it's very limited, it's so tiny, but old women donate their clothes.
Period.
So a baddie left us, but
none of that like Forever 21, Shein, like you're not seeing that. No. They literally have like clothes that like many like middle-aged and older women are donating, and all that stuff's coming back in trend. All the stuff from the 80s and 90s, it's trending. So I love that. They even have like a whole section with like vintage stuff and like real.
I'm like,
nice. I know. I'm not telling anyone. I'm not telling anyone. I'm gonna gatekeep that one. Actually, there were a couple others that like closed down around COVID because I know a lot of thrift stores were struggling and then like couldn't have people come in and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm always on the hunt for a good one. I don't particularly like ones in LA. I feel like they're always overpriced. Stop charging me like $50 for a pair of jeans that I know were only like $25.
Yeah, it's the curated spots that really get you in trouble.
have you been to Drop Your Jeans? It's like so big at this.
Wait, I saw a TikTok about it, but no, I haven't been there.
It's definitely gotten pricier since like I discovered it, because now it's like
it's not bad
everywhere, but it definitely is like real like Levi's, and like some of them are even vintage, and they're at good prices, like if that's like what you're looking for. But we go there a lot.
So many jeans.
So many.
Love that.
Jeans, just like everything.
Shorts, overalls, Carhartts,
Yeah.
button-ups.
Let's go.
We go so much.
Nice. Yeah. As long as there's not like a million people in there. That's one thing that I won't do. If I walk into the thrift store and it's jam-packed, I'm leaving. Because I'm not going to like be shoulder to shoulder with somebody flipping through clothes. I'm not.
I do hate that. Anyways, it seems like we have a lot in common. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. We got a lot in common. I'm gonna extend an invite to you. We're having a beer pong tournament on Saturday if you're free.
Is it in the evening?
Yes. 4 p.m. It's at 4 p.m.
I love that.
So
I
if you
love
want to
that.
bring a partner, let me know. It's $10 to buy in. But if not, you can
Okay.
just come and hang out.
Yes.
So, anyways. Clearly, we have bridged a bond here. And it was so nice to have you on. Hopefully we have you on again, and it's about you. And something you want to share, because you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And gorgeous, and so
Oh,
smart.
you guys are
and
so nice. Thank you.
You're so deserving of everything good in this world. And I'm not even gonna say it. He just doesn't deserve the time. You are the shining moment right now. So
honestly,
let it go. You know?
yeah.
Into
Yeah,
the abyss.
it's in the past. It's in the past. Like, obviously it's gonna come up and I'm gonna think about things.
For
But
sure.
Right.
yeah, it's great to move on from that.
Yes.
Bigger and better things.
Blank slate.
Oh yeah.
So nice.
All right. Well, I know you're private, but if you want to share any socials or anything
definitely
of
can.
that,
Feel free. We'll put them in the description too. But if you want to share them now, you can.
You can put it in the description.
okay. She's like, I'm not gonna be a little shy with it.
All right, guys. We'll catch you then next week.